Punish game stuff, was it?
Yeah, mostly Punish.
Okay.
Just feel a bit lost in it when they end up on a platform.
Okay, nice. Yeah, I've thought a lot about it, so I think I can definitely help you with that. I'd say punishing Fox is probably like, or like Punish game stuff's usually one of my stronger suits for this sort of thing. So I think it's a good question. Cool. Did you send any VODs anywhere or?
I think I did.
Let
me just have a. If I've not, I'll just throw some over quickly.
Yeah. If you don't have any, also we can just look at like a pro game or whatever.
Just whatever you think would be better. I'm sure I could find something.
I think it's probably best to watch one of yours for a bit.
Okay.
And get some general like trends out of that, and then yeah, we can decide from there.
Okay, I'll just find my most recent games with like Rise on or something. I think these are my most recent ones.
Yeah, take your time. It's fine.
Here we go.
You got it?
Yeah, I've got a thing that throws them all into a Dropbox folder for me. So
okay, nice.
Dropbox link, here we go.
Anyone in particular, or well, obviously one with platforms, but
I think most of them will play out the same.
Okay, let's go with Battlefield because I think that's the most what's it called? Like, there's nothing funky going on with that stage in terms of platform stuff, really.
Okay.
Right. Let me know when you can see.
Yeah, I can see.
Sick. Need to turn my volume down. Yeah, so I'm just gonna pause it whenever there's like an actual like big hit.
Okay.
Because some of those are just sort of like stray hits that you can't really do much off of. One thing I will say so far, like even though there hasn't been any punishes, like it feels like you're hitting with a lot of moves that don't actually get you much reward.
Yeah, I remember that being one of the themes from the last time we spoke, was sort of the options I was choosing weren't the best. Like I noticed I'm still doing that like full hop bear where I could be doing like a shine wave land instead.
Yeah, let me just quickly look over what my notes were from last time. I did write you some notes last time, right? Did I not?
I can't remember. I think you'd said about it, but I don't know if it ever got sent through.
If I didn't, then that's my bad.
Oh, it's no worries.
Okay. Yeah, if I don't, definitely just like give me a poke and I'll do it. But okay. Yeah, so we can talk about that in a bit. So I guess this first up tilt, right? This is like the first like big hit I've seen, at least, where it's like this could be a lot of things. So I guess let's hear from your perspective first. Like, what are you thinking about when you get this sort of up tilt?
Trying to get them onto the platform, I feel like, that are carrying them off stage.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what sort of moves are you thinking about doing?
I could do, well, I did the down air and I sort of mess it up, but I think I could probably also do like a, if I wanted to go off like a nair, a back air, shine bear.
Yeah.
Um,
No,
yeah,
I think that's all good.
Okay.
So there's the hard thing with Falco is there's a lot of routes you can go a lot of the time with this sort of thing. So I guess first of all we can go over the downer, because I think the downer is still fine sometimes here to get a tech chase, because if your platform tech chases are good, then you can actually get quite a lot of value, and like if you read him correctly here, then he might just die. Like say he tech rolls away and you just forward smash him, right? Then he might die. So at this one, I'm going to break this down quite specifically, just so you're aware of like all the moving parts with this. So the big thing, first of all, is because you hit him with rising down air, that means that it's very hard to get there in time to cover his tech in place.
Oh.
Right, because like you're still rising as he's in this tech animation. So if we count the frame, I think tech in place is 30, but I could be wrong. But it's around that point. So you see how like when you hit the down air, you're still rising. So then you have to spend all that time going up and then coming back down and then going through landing lag before you can even try to cover anything. So in general, when you're trying to set up a down air tech chase, you want to hit with like a descending down air so that you have more time to cover things.
Right, okay.
So an easy fix here would be like up tilt has a load of stun, right? So you could short hop, reach the peak, and then down air and fast fall. There is maybe a concern that he might fall a little bit further to the left here, because you're sort of delaying your hit. But, you know, if he's CIing in, you'll still probably end up, you know, on the platform.
Around there, yeah.
Yeah, and if he DIs out, he might actually die here, because he might go straight down. But that's always something to consider, is when you're setting up tech chase, you always want to be, like, landing with them, rather than hitting them down, and then you go up, and then down.
Okay.
Okay, so then we get this. So he's been hit into the corner. So that means I think personally the easiest way to play this is sort of like a 50-50, where you can either cover all of his tech options here, so tech in place, miss tech roll left, or you can just choose to call out him tech rolling in, right?
Right.
The good thing about that is it's quite easy to do. Like, it's quite low execution, because you could just say like turn around up tilt here, right? And then that covers all of this. And even if he does tech roll, you don't get a punish, but you're in like a okay spot. And because it's like you're covering 3 out of 4 here as well, it's sort of like you're like hedging your bets, I guess is the way to put it. And especially if they're not aware that that's the mix-up as well, they could be thinking, oh, I'll mix up like tech roll left and tech in place, and like it doesn't even matter because you're covering.
You're covering all
both.
of them.
Yeah, you're covering both anyway. So so that's how I would play that here. The other thing you could do, because he's at 82, is you could just react with like forward smash and down smash to wherever he goes. Again, it's a bit tricky because, like I said, you don't have as much time because you did a rising aerial. But the theory for that is basically just that if he mistechs or tech in place, then you down smash, and if he tech rolls, then you can forward smash.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason you don't just forward smash everything is because forward smash is slower, so it's pretty hard. I don't think you can react to tech in place with forward smash. And also, it can sometimes, you know, it gets that hitbox where it sends them like straight up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes that's actually good, like especially if they DI'd away, then I'll send them straight up. But then sometimes it can be really bad and just ends your combo. And sometimes it just doesn't hit tech at all. So that's why you go for down smash instead.
Okay.
Cover that. So that was my consideration in terms of tech chasing here. If you wanted to go for a combo instead of just going for a finisher, there's a couple things you could do if you were going with like the reaction route here. Dash attack is one, which is quite easy, but is a bit vulnerable to sliding off. However, if you're really sneaky, you can cross up dash attack. I don't know if you've seen like Sheiks do this or Peach.
I don't think so.
So the idea is you basically go past them with the dash attack, and then you do it at the last moment, so that you're hitting with the reverse of the dash attack, and that way you're crossing up their DI, kind of like when you cross up with a shine, right? So then if they're holding like DI out here, they would just get popped straight up, and then you could, you know, do whatever off of it.
Yeah.
So that can be good. You can also do like run off shine or dash jump shine can be good, or dash shield drop shine, like any sort of shine of that sort of variety. That's generally better when you have a platform to go to after. Because like here, for example, if you just shine and he DIs away, then you know he just
not
gets
getting
out.
anything off that. Yeah.
Downer is another consideration as well, which can be quite easy, but again, you want to be aware of slide off DI. But I think that the big thing to remember, like I've just told you a lot of different like combo routes you go here, and that's just for the tech chase. Like you didn't even need to Downer here, you know.
Yeah.
But the big thing to think about is that like unless your opponent really knows Falco really well, they won't know like all the different like DIs there and what they need to do. So you want to be keeping that in mind. Like if you realize, oh, this guy doesn't actually know to slide off, then you could just keep down airing here, right? And you'll destroy him. Or like if he doesn't know to DI in sometimes, then you just forward smash and down smash, right? And then he'll you know, he's getting sent really far. So it's really important to keep yourself aware of like what sort of defensive game are they playing, right? Because that's how Falco, like, he's not like other characters like say Falcon, where there's just sort of like one, like there's a quote unquote optimal way to punish, right? I feel like the optimal part of Falco is being able to do all of the different mix-ups in a way that will get you a kill if you're right, you know. So then the other parts of this was if you don't want to tech chase, second up tilt is really, really good here, which I think was the one thing I don't think you mentioned.
Oh yeah, I missed that. Yeah.
Yeah, because second up tilt here, if he DIs out, then he just gets down aired, right? And if he DIs this way, then you get like a full hop shine waveland. And if he DIs straight up, then he usually gets like short hop up aired or something, or maybe dash dance strong back air, and then you know it's either an edge guard or a combo. So up tilt is really good. Like second up tilt is good in spots where like it's just like another free hit is the way I'd sort of describe it, I guess. So especially around like the 40 mark onwards to about this percent, like you can get a second up tilt here, and it's just like a bit of extra damage. Okay. So yeah, I mean the other thing, I think you said aerial as well was one you'd be thinking about here. I think that's pretty good as well, especially if he's DIing in here. Then you know, if you did like a nair in place, you could maybe down air off of it.
Yeah.
There's like so much you could do here. Again, you really need to think about what do you think Fox will do here, because there's like, you know, hundreds of things you can do as Falco here. But but what you want to do is, like, when you're thinking about your float shots, is if I know he's doing this DI, how do I kill him for that? You know, or how do I get a lot of damage for that? So like with this, just to go over this one, I feel like the shield drop isn't that great because even if it did hit everything, you're only getting a back air, right? And you know, he could slide off on back air, you could survival DI the back air, and both of those let him sort of live. So it's like if you wanted to hit him off stage, then you may as well have just done like down smash, forward smash coverage, right? For example. So yeah, you don't want to get stuck in the trap of like, I want to sort of cover everything, but not in like a high reward way. Yeah. Because if you do that, you just don't keep up in terms of punish, I feel like. There are spots when it is good, like with the down smash, forward smash coverage, but a lot of the time you want to be making like an effective read instead, I feel like. But yeah, there were probably like some things I missed there in terms of the tech chase, but I think you get the idea of like how you
I get the gist of it.
Break it up, yeah.
And is there like a good way to practice covering those options?
Yeah, I mean the simplest way with this one would be I would probably yeah. So I would go in Uncle Punch. I would get what was the situation again? Yeah, I would just set a CPU on the platform. And up tilt them here, and then set the DI to, I think this is slight DI in or something like that. And then I'd just practice doing, you know, like up tilt, down air, and the tech chase off of it, because it's going to tech randomly. It'll throw in some smash DI sometimes. I forget if it was you I told us about as well, but there is actually a thing in Uncle Punch where you can set the CPU to do a sequence of DIs. So you can be like, so you can be like DI this first hit to the left and then DI this next hit to the right. I'm not fully sure how it works, so I only discovered it a bit ago. But I think that could be very useful for these sorts of situations. Because what you don't want is you set him to survival DI and then you just survival DIs every single hit in your combo, and it's very sort of like easy. Yeah. I think being able to sort of randomize it. The other thing I'll do here sometimes is just set him to random DI on this up tilt. And then I'm like, I can practice this part of it, but then I'm also not just tunnel visioning on this, you know. But if you want to specifically practice the tech chase part here, then I think that's the best way to do it. Okay. Cool. I don't expect you to like absorb all this in one go. Also, like, I would definitely like go back and sort of maybe write down or something. You know, for these different situations. Nice. Did you want to talk about some of the stuff to do with like hitting with rising aerials, or do you think you understand that from like the last?
Yeah, I think I understand like why they're bad. I'm just still in such a bad habit of doing them.
Yeah. Do you think it's that like you don't know what you'd do instead, or is it just like I need to just sit down and think about doing this in game?
Yeah, I think I need to just sit and commit to doing it.
Okay.
But it's also like I don't know, say for like a low nair or something. Like, will that always be like slower to come out than a high one? Or is there a way for me to like fast fall it so that it still comes out decently quick? Because right now when I go to do like a low dare or something, I feel like I'm like waiting a good bit and then doing it.
I feel like a lot of the time the waiting part isn't that bad for you unless you know that they're gonna throw something out instantly. But then I also feel like if you knew they were gonna throw something out, you could deal with it in a much less like risky way by just sort of like waiting a beat and then going in to hit them.
Yeah, that's
the way I sort of view it, at least. Sometimes I will throw out like a rising aerial, like rising down air, if it's at like a good if it's at a good percent for it, so like 15-20ish, where when it connects I'm actually going to get something, and if it's like maybe I down air through them to get to center or something. But I feel like you just want to be really specific with when you use it, whereas I feel like for you it's sort of just like your baseline or your standard response, or however you want to phrase it. But it's just, I think you've hit about like 4 or 5 of them this game so far, and it just doesn't like lead to anything. And a lot of them were spots where if you'd have just delayed your aerial, the like 5-frame difference or whatever wouldn't have really like it wouldn't have got you hit instead in a lot of these, I don't think. Yes, there's another one. I like this punish, and then I think the tech chase is the problem. So this is really good. Clean waveland, which I like to see, and then run off down is perfect here. Let me think for a moment. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else you could do instead of down air that gets you an easier time, but I don't think there is. I mean, there's always a thing where you can always just forward smash sometimes, and they might DI away, but it looked like he actually DI'd in on this. So you could have maybe done something like run off nair and then come off that. But I think the down air is a very like safe way to play it, which is good because you get a guaranteed tech chase here. So you see how this time, because you are falling with the down air, you have way more time.
First. Yeah.
Like you literally shined him before his tech animation even, Yeah. Thingy. And I think that was the problem here, was that you actually acted too fast. So you want to be paying attention to like when you land in relation to them, and then change your timing based on that. So if you get there first, you want to be a bit slower, but if you get there last, you want to be a bit quicker, So with this one again, so this time he's at 52, and he landed in the center of the platform. So that changes things, because we can't do this like 3 out of 4 coverage now, right? Like we did before.
Yeah.
So now how you can play it, again, if you want to go for like, if you want to set up like a 50-50 read, which is how I usually try to play it, just because I don't trust myself to hit the reaction a lot of the time. Here is that I would up tilt the mistech and tech in place option, or I would wait to see which way they roll, and then you could forward smash, you could dash jump shine, you could dash tech, sort of all the things we listed before. Yeah. But the key difference here is that your 50-50's changed now, because now you're either covering the in place or you're covering the rolls, rather than before it was like I cover 3 things and then have this one other option that I can sort of hard read. I think a big thing to point out there is that I said specifically up tilt here. Do you have any ideas on why I'd say up tilt instead of say shining here?
Would I get more off an up tilt?
Yeah, I
Or,
think
like,
that's one part for sure.
and well, I know with, at least for me with Shine, I tend to like fall through the platform or like not do the execution right. So that's why I would have thought up tilt, but I don't actually know what.
Yeah, I think that's factors. So I'd say there's three factors. So I think those two. The third thing with Shine is that sometimes they get spooky stun, which is where they sort of like fly up and they're not in any stun. Do you know what I'm on about, or?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why it happens, or not?
I don't actually. Is it to do with? I think I remember it being something to do with like the tech roll, or something. It's like similar to the I can't remember what the thing's called. It's like invisible ceiling, right? It's to do with like the ECB or something.
Yeah. So it's A to do with the scaling of the Shine. Because this happens with other moves as well, like Chic F tilt. But it happens when they're in Mistech and they're in the airborne sort of part of it. And if you hit them with too weak a move, then they just like fly up. It's the same with when you like with like Chic F tilt, it happens to sometimes. But it's really important to realize because it changes Falco's combo game a lot. Because if you could just Shine Mistech, this would be a lot easier, especially to reaction tech chase, because reacting with up tilt's a lot harder than reacting with Shine, right? But yeah, so the execution thing you said I think is valid as well. The way I personally get around that is I'll do a crouch after this if I want to try and Shine, like after the down air. I'm holding down in my down air lag, and then that way if I Shine, I won't fall through the platform.
Oh, okay.
So that can be really good, and it also lets you set up like a crouch tech chase if you wanted to go for that as well. And then what was it? And then yeah, the third part about the what's it called? The punish off it being better. I feel like an up tilt at 52 here. Again, it either leads to like a second up tilt, which is always pretty good, or they DI to one of the sides. If they DI off this way, then you know they're either getting forward smashed or down air. And if they DI this way, then you know they're getting Shine comboed up here, and then there's you know all the flowchart that leads off of that
stuff. Yeah.
Whereas I feel like if you Shine here, sometimes, especially if they DI out, say you wave dash out, then you don't have enough like range to run off the platform and jump. So the platform sort of cuts off your dash, and then you can't jump as far outward. You can remedy that by like wave dashing down instead, but then you're not getting as close to them, right? So I feel like the Shine just makes the punish a bit more awkward, and especially if they what's it called? Sorry, the thought lost me there, but I feel like the up tilt just sort of like simplifies this punish. I feel like the Shine can be pretty hard to convert off of if they DI well. Oh, that was it. They have like upwards knockback from the Shine. So, have you heard of like knockback stacking?
Yeah.
Yeah, so that can mess up some things as well. So say you down air them off of a Shine, they're gonna go less down than off of an up tilt, which you know can sometimes be the difference between like them getting to grab ledge or them having to fall below the stage. So yeah, I just feel like the Shine around this percent makes stuff a bit worse sometimes, or like harder to follow up off of. But yeah. So then the reaction tech chase part of this that you could do as well is so this is where you might want to consider Shining instead, because it's a lot easier to cover all of these if you're only looking for a Shine. So you would basically, I think the easiest way to do this is you would crouch after this downer, and then you'd Shine if you see like the any of the in-place things.
Mm.
and then you would just either dash out of crouch or you could just release crouch and then dash if you wanted to, and then you'd either like dash, jump, shine, or you could run off shine, waveland, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But again, going back to what I was saying about like, don't fall into the trap of like trying to cover everything but not covering it well, if that makes sense. If you're only shining the mistech and then he suddenly spooky stuns out of your combo, then it's like, was it really worth trying to cover everything?
Committing to that, yeah.
And yeah, it sort of depends on the player, because if you play someone that never mistechs, then I'd be like, yeah, sure, I'll only shine to tech chase because that's pretty good versus that sort of option set. But that's something that I think like only really like Mango's good at, pretty much, and even he doesn't use like the full tool set of combos, but it's to sort of get you thinking in that sort of way, I guess.
That mindset,
yeah. Okay, let's watch a different stage. So yeah, Battlefield, I'd say it's the most like normal one, obviously, because some of the stages have like different quirks. So like Yoshi's, the platforms close together, and you have like, you can dare interrupt onto the top platform, which affects a lot of combo routes for your platform tech chasers. Obviously Fountain, sometimes you don't even have side platforms to go to. Stadium doesn't have a top platform, so that changes like how you want to play the combo as well. So I think Battlefield's like the easiest to get like those basics down that we were talking about, of how you sort of approach the tech chase. Guess let me get another one up. How do you feel about comboing on Pokemon?
I feel a bit better about it. Because like basically the only practice I'd done for the longest time was just like trying to get like the pillar combos down on FD. So I feel like it's just FD in the middle, and then occasionally I can try like do a shine waveland on side plat. But once they're on there, I feel like I drop it quite a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's just about whether the weakness for you is from like going from top platform to side, or side to top, or whether it's coming from below and going to the side. There's like lots of different components to it. We can watch
I think like from bottom to side plat, I feel like I'm okay until I've got them until I have to follow up on them being on it.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. Let me download this Pokemon game then. You can still see, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I think this is a pretty good big drop, to be honest. Again, you actually hit with a rising area, which I think maybe screwed you up a little bit. But so here, I think so how do you feel about how you tried to follow up about this, first of all? Even if you hit it, do you feel like it would have gotten you much?
No, because if I'd hit it, I would have been on his right side with a shine.
Yeah, right. So, so in his mind, especially if he sees you here, I feel like he's just thinking, well, I'll just DI left.
Just hold down, yeah.
Yeah, obviously you can do some cheese with, like, you can wave on and then run off side B, edge cancel or whatever, but it doesn't usually actually lead to a combo. So, I think an important thing here is that, like, similar to the up tilt thing, like, you don't have to immediately go into a platform tech chase here. Like, you could just down air again, right? Because he's at 23. So you always want to get, like, the max sort of, like, or not always, but, like, it's a good rule to stick by. You want to get the most like true damage, and I call it true damage because it's like you're not having to tech chase or make a read or anything. Like you just get down air and then probably get another hit here outside of some SDI shenanigans. So you want to always maximize that and then go for like your big tech chase or a read or whatever, right? Because then at least you still got like, you know, 50% and then guess wrong on a read, rather than, you know, you go for this here and then you only get 23 out of it, right? So I'd only ever start to go to the platform once you can't get like a good pillar or something in the center. And I think that's very relevant on Stadium. Again, because there's no top platform, it makes your platform follow-ups a bit weaker. So this one I can see if you go for tech in place, then it would have worked, so that's fine. Yeah, I think this is happening a lot actually, where like you're just mistiming when to hit his techs.
Yeah.
So again, like I was saying, just really try and pay attention to like when you land in, or like when you're actionable in relation to when he techs, right? Because like here you landed before him, so you needed to wait a bit and then shine the tech in place.
Yeah. So for Fox, would I always just want to, like, if I'm going to cover that, would I want to wait for him to be like on his feet again? Like, would that be a good sort of indicator?
Yeah, it's around, I mean, I can count the frames. Three, four, five, six, seven, eight. I think it's actionable like now. Yeah, I think on his feet is good. I remember now. I think he's actionable from like, oh, he's vulnerable for like 20. I think it's 22 through 29 or something like that. So it's when he's like now.
Right.
So it's when he's got like 2 feet on, or sorry, now. He's in like this little squat thing.
Yeah. Similar pose.
Yeah. But it looks like you sort of read he would tech in place here. To me, at least.
Yeah, I think I just mistimed it.
Yeah, so if you're gonna read, you can you know, you have a lot of time to play with to delay it to the right point. But then this is another one where like maybe you could up tilt instead.
Yeah.
So that has like longer active frames, so it's easier to hit the tech, and it's also going to cover mistech better. The downside to up tilt could be that it could set up a platform tech chase instead of shine. Actually, would give you just a true combo here. So that's something to consider. But then again, you're sort of sacrificing your coverage on mistech to some extent. So it's up to you. It's just good to be aware of, because then you can like inform your decision making sort of better in game. I think this was hard. Have we been over tech chasing from like the bottom of the like below them on side?
I think we touched it briefly. I remember you saying about like wave landing on, like instead of going for the shine from below sometimes.
Yeah, I think there's 2 ways to play it. So you can either wave land on and then set up a either a crouch tech chase or try and shine his options or whatever. But with this one, I don't think you had time to get there. Yeah, because he already landed by the time you're landing. Yeah. So you position under him, which is good. And then from here, because he missed the tech, you can actually cover everything.
Okay.
So you full hop shine at a timing that would cover his regular getup and his get up attack. It's towards, you want to time it towards the end of when get up attack would be.
Okay.
And then obviously if he rolls, then you just do a dash jump shine to get to where he is. It's a lot easier on Stadium than it is on say like Battlefield where the platform's longer.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing you can do is just no, that's a different situation actually. The thing with this one was because you already saw he missed the tech. You don't have to worry about covering tech in place, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is like the main hard thing to cover whenever you're on a better platform tech chase, just because it's the quickest. So generally, if you don't have to cover that, then you can usually just react to the other stuff. But yeah, it just looked like you messed up your movement, especially because he crouched as well, which I thought was a bit strange. Because like, there's no reason to crouch because he can't like hit you, right? Because he's above you. Nice. Okay. Talk about this one as well. Yeah, so this is where what's it called? Pokemon can be a bit annoying because here you might have the option sometimes to shine him and get to top platform because you haven't got that.
Would doing a downer be good there though? If I could get him with the inside hitbox to like send him onto the plat.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that actually.
Okay.
Again, it's you got to consider a few things here. So first of all, if he does DI in as well, if you full hop back air here, especially if you do it early enough, you can get like full hop back air into double jump back air, which can be decent. So if you know like how your opponent's gonna DI here, you could also wait, let me watch it one more time. I'm thinking whether you can shut up there here or not. It's hard to tell. Yeah, so I think the double backer is good if you think he'll DI in. The downer could be pretty good if he's going to DI out, because I don't think he'd be able to slide off. He might be able to. Like, just DI in such a way that he'll edge cancel. But if you think he'll DI in, then yeah, downering him to the platform here. But again, you got to remember what I was saying about hitting with a rising aerial, right? Because you're going to be above him. Or like you're going to be rising as you downer him. So if he techs in place, then he might be able to like reversal you. So you want to make sure you do a really clean down air. So it might have to be like instant double jump and then down air at the very last second. Yeah. You can't just be sort of like lazy with it and just sort of full hop down air rising here, because then he's gonna get to reversal you. There's one more thing I was thinking about. The other thing you can sometimes do in these sorts of spots, if it's a bit weird, is you could go above him with your aerial and then fall on top of him with back air. And what that does is if he tries to jump, then it can catch his jump, which is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but then it also means that you're falling with your aerial, and again, that gives you more time to do something. So again, there's quite a few ways to play this, but I mean, even him DIing out here was still pretty good for you. I think the problem was how you did the edge guard after. Yeah, so the top one wouldn't have covered anything, I don't think. This one did cover stuff, but then I think you didn't recognize that the laser wasn't going to hit him, which is pretty hard to tell, I will admit. But it is definitely something you need to practice, because otherwise this sort of thing happens, where you're in a good spot, and then he side Bs you. So I think the fix here was just to put your shield up, honestly.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can still just put your shield up anyway here, if even if you think the laser will hit, if you're not sure, because you know you see him get hit by the laser and then you could just drop your shield in some way or jump out or whatever, and you still get an okay edge guard. Yeah, so that was my big thought here, is like, if you're going to go for hits to hit them off and like call out their DI away in that way, then you need to also back it up by having good edge guards.
Okay.
If you're always hitting them off stage and then never edge guarding well, then you may as well have just gone for like a down air tech chase and go for a big read to try and kill them. Because at the end of the day, like, even the edge guard is reads, right? Like, you can't just cover everything every time.
Yeah.
So that's something to consider as well, is like, if this person's really good at what's it called? At recovering, but they're not that good at the defensive stuff, then maybe it's better to just down air them into the platform and and tech chase them. That's a question I sometimes ask myself versus Prof, because his recoveries are really good, but then he doesn't do all of like the new school stuff like slide off DIing on dash attacks and stuff like that. So that's something to consider as well. But then maybe, you know, this person has a terrible side B habit and you just kill them every time for it, they're off stage. So then in that case, I would just back air them off every time and, you know, kill them that way.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to play it, and again, it just depends on like what your opponent's defensive like skill set is. We can talk about covering this side B, I guess. So I think these lasers were fine. Again, the laser barely missed, which might have threw you off. But I'm thinking just like down smash here, to be honest.
Yeah.
If you think the laser will miss. If you think the laser would hit, then I would probably turn around and grab the ledge like you tried to do. But because it missed, that meant that you didn't have time to get there before him. So I think really try and pay attention to that.
Yeah, I think edge guarding's one of the parts that I sort of struggle with the most.
Yeah. I think the thing to pay attention to here is like the height he jumps to. Because like as soon as you see him side B at this height, I feel like unless you get a really, really low laser, you're not going to hit him. Because you see that one miss by like quite a bit, I feel like.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate. Thinking like down air, right?
Yeah, I didn't think it would shield poke, I think.
I think what messed you up was your back air execution. So you see how you like shine here and then you do an AC bear, but then you fast fall it too early, which means you miss the L cancel, and then that causes you to miss your dash. And then that messes up, like, you know, everything, right? Whereas if you'd have just, like, let the AC bear sort of ride and not even try to fast fall it, you would have easily had time to just dash full up down air him, I feel like.
Yeah.
Nice punish on the double jump. Yeah, I feel like you cover tech in place a lot.
Yeah.
Again, it's kind of like the thing I was saying with it's like 3 out of 4 on the platform when they're in the corner. Like, this tech chase from below should be you either read tech in place or you cover literally everything else you can do. So I think the fact that I feel like Ryzon's tech rolled a lot, and it doesn't look like he knows that it's a mix-up. Like, he has to tech in place sometimes, or else you'll just cover whatever he does. So I think that would definitely be something to practice, is just like practice shining a CPU to here, and then set them to random, and just be mentally in your head like, is he teching in place or not? And if you're just going to guess it's not going to tech in place, then you need to sort of like practice the other side to
what
this.
To use to cover what, yeah.
Yeah. I think probably watching like me and like Ginger's probably best for this sort of thing. At least the non-Tekken play stuff. Mango covers it a bit weird sometimes, in my opinion. So at least to get like a basic idea of how to play this, I think that's probably good.
Because one of the issues I also think I have is that to get onto side plat, I feel like I always do like a shine waveland instead of just going for like a straight up waveland for it.
Yeah, I mean this one it didn't really what's it called? Did I get past it? I think I did. Yeah, so this one I think again you didn't have time to get there with a waveland, I feel like. You have to tech chase just from underneath because you know, if you think he'll tech in place, sorry, then I don't think you have time to waveland. If you think he'll tech roll, then you could probably waveland up there and then run off shine or jump shine or whatever you want to do. But the other thing again is because you've got no top platform, I feel like tech chasing from the platform itself isn't that good because, you know, if you shine him, unless you do like a cross up shine, he's just going to DI away and get out, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I would practice both, like wave landing up there before he lands, and also if you're able to, and also just tech chasing from below. See if there's any more that come up. Rip. Yeah, that was another big one. Yeah, so I think this follow-up changes again depending on if you're on like Stadium or on FD or Battlefield or whatever. Main thing I'm thinking about here is up air, to be honest. Okay. Any thoughts why I think that? Like short hop up there, I mean.
Would it be more likely to get him onto the platform?
Yeah.
Combo better.
So I feel like if they DI in on the up air, then they're just going to go straight up and get hit by another one. If they DI to like in the middle and sort of this zone, then they're probably getting like dash full up aerialed. And if they're DIing full away, they might be able to slide off maybe, but they just end up in a really bad spot, right? Because they're either landing into a laser or they have to like double jump out and then try and fall down. Yeah. But again, it's sort of that thing I was on about with like you want to get the true damage where you can, right? Because you get this up air and then they're at 80 and then you know you get to play a mix up on where they go after that. Whereas if you just straight up go for like just full hop back air or full hop shine here, you know he wins one mix up and he's out sort of thing, you know. Yeah. Like I want to put them in the worst possible position and then sort of make the read. Instead of like if he guesses right here and he's out, you know, he's still in center or whatever. Yeah. But yeah, that's one of the things that makes FD and Stadium hard here sometimes is you can't just like full hop shine waveland here, right? You have to either hit him out with back air or go for up air or something. Because you know, like even if you'd have hit this line, I'm guessing you were trying to back air probably. And like you know, he just DIs in on the back air and he's you know around here, and you don't really get much. Yeah. Nice. Yeah, he's side beat like every time, so I feel like you probably need a bit of a better plan for dealing with that. The height he's doing at, to be honest, a lot of the time you can just sort of like turn your back like here and then just short hop, and then when you see the side B you just back air him, and that's a pretty easy way to deal with it in my opinion. He could obviously side B low and go to ledge or like up B instead, but with the side Bs he's doing, I think that's the easiest way. That's like pretty safe as well.
Yeah, I mean, even if I just did it there, I would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think got like 5 minutes. I think it might be worth just watch like maybe one of my VODs or something.
Yeah, I'm down.
And see the sort of just pull up like set versus prof. I think it's probably. Watched this one. Do I need to change my?
I think so. Yeah.
Stream settings. I don't know why it's not there. Is it there now?
There we go. Yeah, I can see it.
See it? Cool. Okay. Yeah, so there's a few things here, first of all. So you see how I get this, and then I'm not immediately trying to get him up here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I could have maybe down aired, but the thing in my mind was like, I took quite a while with this, right? Because I jumped out of it first.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so I was like, well, I need to do something quicker here. Which is why I go for shine instead of trying to like down air this. Because I think what happened with you a lot, right, was like you'd hit with rising down air at a low %, and then you wouldn't get anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I try and go for jump shine in these situations instead, because it still gets me a combo and it's like quite quick.
Mm-hmm.
So I jump under. He didn't tech in place, which means I've set up like a missed tech chase opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wait. I messed up slightly here. I think I dashed the wrong way. But you can see how like even with that, I think I still managed to get there. Yeah, I think I like literally a frame off getting shined. But unfortunately, I couldn't cross him up here. So the cross up would have been nice because then I can cover like if he DIs out, he'd only end up like here, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now he ends up like all the way out here because I didn't get to cross him up.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still decent to me. And then he actually ends up DIing the wrong way. It might have actually been that he thought I would cross up, so then he was trying to reverse his DI. So then my mess up actually mixed up him. But yeah, so then I get that, and then again you see like what's it called? I take my true damage, right? I just go for a pillar here. I don't try and like full up shine and get to this platform.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like, well, I'm just going to pillar you and get my extra damage. And then I shouldn't have shined there. Reason being, I don't have any room to go to after this shine, right? Like I can't dash.
Yeah, you can't wave
jump.
dash or anything. Yeah.
So in hindsight, I would probably up tilt here. It's kind of tricky. I could up tilt, or I could maybe I could run off and then shine waveland back on, because then I would end up like here, and then I've got space to run again. So I drop the combo here, and then I get to here, and I'm like, right, I can't cover everything now because he's gonna have time to like I can't get in a position to cover everything, basically.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna read him doing like tech in place or mistech. So then I go for down air, and again, I know like prof isn't that good with like slide off DI stuff. So going for down air here is pretty high reward for me because, you know, I get up tilt, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then we get up tilt here. So then this is like sort of similar to the situation you had, right? Like, I know in your one he DI'd like up here instead.
Yeah.
But it's the sort of situation where, again, you know, I could up tilt again. I could forward smash. I could dash and then aerial. You know, all these different things. I just go for the forward smash because I felt like he was going to DI away, and I was just like, well, I'll just set up an easy like edge guard. I actually messed up. I've been trying to do this stupid thing where I like pivot F smash off of up tilt, which I don't expect you to do. It's like you need a Goon wave for it, I feel like. But
I want bugs.
Yeah, but it can sometimes lead to some interesting things. Like I'll end up getting the inside hitbox here, and then if they DI away, then they go straight up, and I get to just down air them again into the platform. But yeah. Okay, so I missed my punish, but you see how like I felt like I dropped quite a few things there, or like stuff wasn't ideal. You know, like I didn't get an easy down air here. This tech chase was a bit scuffed because I didn't hit on the right side. This one I messed up and didn't have room, shouldn't have shined. But then I still like adjusted to it well, just because I made some like high reward reads. I feel like.
Yeah, you made the right choices.
Yeah. And then here, like, my edge guard was decent. I lasered the correct height to hit the side B. And then there I was just like, well, if he tries to take laser side B or something, he's just going to get forward smashed and die.
Yeah.
But then if I'm wrong, I still don't die here. He just recovers really well and goes straight in. But it's sort of, it was like, I made a read and it was like, if I'm right, I kill him, and if I'm wrong, then, you know, nothing happens. Which is really good, like, risk reward for me, right? That was dumb. I haven't even watched the set back, to be honest. I don't think we actually talked about this sort of tech chase situation. Essentially what I did here was like, this is just a good practice to get into for tech chasing, is like you want to be on top of them so that you can shine, right?
Yeah.
And then it's easier to cover all the other options. I think with this one, the thing that helps was that the edge cut him off, which meant that his tech roll didn't go as far.
Didn't go as far, yeah.
Yeah. So then I was like, well, I'll down air. And again, this is another one where like there's a bit of a mix-up. Because he could... so first of all, if he's survival DIing, then obviously the down air pops him up. And then he has it. But then if he's doing like slide off DI, for example, I could just like late nair him instead. And then, you know, he's flying all the way off stage. But again, I'm like, Prof doesn't slide off DI in these sorts of spots. So I was like, well, I'll just down air. And he DIs away, which is good, but, you know, if I'd have, you know, nared instead, you know, he might have died. So, again, I'm always trying to think about that sort of thing. Like, he has to guess right to not die. Let's watch for, like, one more. Yeah, and you can see, like, the times when I do hit him with, like, rising aerials, it's not working for me either. So, you know, like, right here, he shines me.
Yeah, he's actionable first.
But then with this one, I was like, I know that this isn't going to combo. So I immediately went into shield pressure instead of trying to combo off my hit. So I think having that awareness is really important. I think here I messed something up. But I feel like this is the sort of thing that was maybe going wrong when you were trying to combo as well. Like you hit the wrong side of the shine here, and then you end up getting nothing, right?
Yeah.
And it makes a really big difference. Like if you compare this opening compared to like that opening on the first stock where I get like 80% in an edge guard, you know, this is a lot different. So there's small things do matter a lot. But yeah, okay, I think we can start to wrap up.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope that gives you some ideas about how to approach those.
Yeah, I've got
punishes.
So I'm happy for that.
Have you been writing anything down, or do you want me to write something?
Yeah, I've been writing down like some notes, but if you've got anything as well, I'd like that. But I think I've got enough that I'd be able to. Yeah,
I was gonna say I haven't really been taking that many notes this time because the amount of things I was talking about for different situations is pretty hard to like put into writing. So I think it's easier to just like watch the VOD back instead, and then you can just pause it and
Yeah,
try
I'm
and.
that.
I think a good exercise for this would be to rewatch the VOD and pause it when the situation comes up, and try and remember the sort of ideas I was like giving you or whatever. I think that would be good for like building.
Yeah.
Because Punish Game is all about just like building recognition. I feel like because the quicker you can recognize what the situation is, the easier the follow up becomes.
Option. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been doing like a practice routine. Like
Yeah.
I've tried to do it daily. Would I just want to I was going to ask that with your practice, do you focus on like one thing per session, or do you do like multiple things in a session? Because I'm only doing it for like an hour, 45 minutes. So I've got like 4 things that I want to work on in that time. But do you think it'd be more beneficial to do just one?
Is that for solo practice or for playing someone?
Yeah, solo practice.
No, I think you can have quite a few different ones.
Okay.
Especially if you have like the DI set to random or things like that. I feel like you end up working on lots of different setups like naturally anyway. I just really make sure that you're practicing at different percents and off of different openers is the big thing. But yeah, it sounds like if you put in that much work into it, then like it, you should be fine. Honestly,
okay,
yeah. Okay, cool.
Perfect.
Yeah, I'll any follow-ups, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next time.
Yeah, perfect. Right, thank you, man. Bye.
See ya.